Hi everyone, welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Firstly, everyone, just relax. This isn't going to get political. We're simply looking at the economic impact Biden's policies will have to Tesla. With $1.7 trillion to be invested over 10 years for the climate, and with a 100% clean energy net emissions target of 2050, it's no secret that Biden will have a much greener attitude towards the economy. And Tesla's a very green company, so therefore should benefit greatly from this presidency. Or will it? Let's look at each of Biden's issues that affect Tesla and explore the potential impact it could have on the company. Biden says in his climate plan, for accelerating the deployment of electric vehicles, there are now 1 million electric vehicles on the road in the United States. But a key barrier to further deployment of these greenhouse gas reducing vehicles is a lack of charging stations and coordination across all levels of government. As president, Biden will work with our nation's governors and mayors to support the deployment of more than 500,000 new public charging outlets by the end of 2030. Tesla currently offer 1,000 charging stations in America with an average of 10 outlets per station. It means Tesla offer around 10,000 outlets in America currently. So Joe Biden is planning on building 50 times as many. So let's just back up again. For the last 8 years, Tesla has strategically been placing their supercharger network all around the US, in the most ideal locations they can find. And sure, during holidays and busy times, there are occasions where Tesla can't quite offer enough chargers. But overall, the infrastructure is tolerable and obviously improving continually, likely at around the fastest, most feasible pace they can. Somehow, the government, with no experience, are going to find a way to add 50 times more chargers. There's no mention of what company will be offering the chargers. Perhaps they'll be government-owned. How much will we have to pay to charge? Will it be competitive with Tesla's pricing? How will it be achieved? Will the government just put an order out for 500,000 chargers with some specifications and anything produced gets purchased? Biden hasn't mentioned if the government are going to pay for the chargers, subsidize them, or what. The only word he used was support. So where will they install all these chargers? Government shouldn't have too much trouble finding land along the likes of highways. I'm sure they own plenty of it. The government have the ability to put chargers right on the streets, just like a parking ticket machine. They can change building regulations. For example, if your building is a certain size, you must currently offer disabled parking. Well, now in addition to disabled parking, you might have to offer a charger as well. Remember, Biden supports the deployment of more than 500,000 new public charging outlets by the end of 2030. He didn't say the government were going to install them themselves, so perhaps support could be interpreted more as forced. The chargers would need to have some universality and have some compatibility to them if they're going to be developed by different companies. There would likely need to be consistent pricing across the country, consistent feedbacks to the app, letting drivers know where's the nearest charging station, is the outlet still operational, or is it in use. They would therefore all be using the same software for this charging network. As you can imagine, what a nightmare it would be checking a dozen different apps just to find the nearest charging station. Okay, so let's just start by saying I find it seriously unlikely 50 times as many chargers as Teslas can be deployed that quickly. However, it's likely that there will be perhaps 100 times more EV drivers on the road in 10 years. So the math would follow that you would hope and expect 100 times more chargers then too. Well, also remember in 10 years' time, cars will have a lot more range, and charging will be a lot quicker too, meaning people will need to charge less and for shorter periods of time. Anyway, how does this affect Tesla? Well, there'll be more charging options available, except the chargers won't be run by Tesla, so it's likely they'll be unreliable and more expensive than Tesla chargers. Slower too, probably. In other words, if you have a Tesla, your first option will always be a Tesla charger. On the other hand, the competition suddenly have a network built at their disposal. Just like that. This is still a major issue for any other non-Tesla EV. I just watched a video lately about a couple doing a road trip in a Porsche Taycan. Apparently it was not particularly enjoyable, as charging is so hard. When you get to a charger, you have to wait because they're full, or the chargers are actually broken. So if the government sorts out this barrier to entry, then it makes a more even playing ground for the competition. Biden's climate plan then goes on to say, in addition, Biden will restore the full electric vehicle tax credit to incentivize the purchase of these vehicles. He will ensure the tax credit is designed to target middle-class consumers and, to the greatest extent possible, to prioritize the purchase of vehicles made in America. And he will work to develop a new fuel economy standard that goes beyond what the Obama-Biden administration put in place. So currently, all EVs sold in the US are eligible for a $7,500 tax credit, not a small amount. However, this is only for the first 200,000 EVs a manufacturer sells. Tesla and GM have already exhausted their tax credits. There is talk of Biden extending that credit from the first 200,000 cars sold to the first 400,000. If this was to occur, then likely in the first quarter of its appearance, Tesla would receive $7,500 times 200,000, which is $1.5 billion. Always a nice bit of extra income, but actually gives Tesla very little advantage at this stage. They already have plenty of cash. However, it does mean that the competition get to make cars at a potential loss for twice as long now until they can actually break even, which gives them a bit more of a chance to catch Tesla. It also says, though, that he wants to prioritize the purchase of vehicles made in America. If we assume he means electric vehicles, then that's great for Tesla, as the only other electric vehicle made in the US is currently the Chevrolet Bolt, which doesn't give Tesla much competition. And I believe the new electric Ford Mustang is actually built in Mexico. We'll be seeing new players like Rivian, who are made in America, enter the market this year, but this is a very niche product. Full self-driving tech is close to just about being ready, but even when it does get there, then what? It's still illegal to let your car drive for you. Tesla will be lobbying hard to the administration, pointing how safe it is and having the data to back it up. I honestly don't know if Biden is more likely to open up FSD than the previous presidency or not. I just think it will be an important governmental issue for Tesla. Biden has mentioned he wants grid-scale storage at 1/10 the cost of lithium-ion batteries. I'm not entirely sure what Biden means here. Maybe he meant 1/10 the cost with lithium-ion rather than of, because he goes on to say, "Today, we are on the cusp of breakthroughs in technologies, such as batteries that can more efficiently store energy for use at moments of peak demand." Anyway, it does seem that the administration are aware that battery energy storage is a greener future. Now, in this case, Tesla must dominate. There won't be anyone else that can scale energy battery storage like Tesla. What about LG Chem, Panasonic, CATL? They make batteries too. Sure, but those batteries are earmarked for electric cars. They simply won't be able to compete against Tesla's batteries, and it wouldn't be a feasible business solution for the others, at least not at this stage. So I think this could be an area Tesla could really thrive with this government. The main thing they need is the electrical grid deregulated. Then Tesla can use their auto bidder software. With their energy storage deployed, this would save a fortune in energy prices and be very green for the country and Biden. So there's a lot of hope there, possibly. The same for solar. Biden will be behind all of Tesla's solar panel and Powerwall business. Again, the regulation needs to be changed here to facilitate installments. Tesla solar is already cheaper than conventional energy, at least in many places. The technology will continue to improve, but it's highly possible that Biden could also offer some more solar subsidies to further increase demand. So if the government can facilitate companies trying to be green and change regulation, then that will open up Tesla's energy business. Of course, the economy is likely to have done better with the previous presidency. Overall, Teslas are still more a luxury item and thus thrive better in a booming economy. However, with monetary policy keeping interest rates this low, I think the economy should continue running red hot until inflation gets out of control, and then comes a massive hangover. So overall, I think a Biden presidency could be better for Tesla, and possibly accelerate Tesla's mission of sustainable energy, but it might mean we will see some more inferior EVs along the way. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.